Don't know how this will work, but I'll try and do it in theatre mode while I'm on. So this is S&D from yesterday. So access to pause. So apart from these spinny awesomeness. So I can't remember what you've got here. Your SMG. So I kind of watched this earlier, so some bits I can remember, some bits I can't. When you're playing with an SMG, you're taking on long lines of sight, which means you're always at a disadvantage. But you do kind of switch between. I don't know if it's when you're always defending, you change to the AR, but some of your deaths are actually really useful, and some of them you're just putting yourself in the wrong place. Like if you got an SMG, you probably want to be going under and making sure that all the lines of sight that you take on are close range. Whereas when you're up here, if anyone's got an AR and it's 50-50, there's a high chance you're going to lose it. Even though I've seen some of your kills and they're just ridiculous. Like I don't know how you're winning them. Like really good gun skill, but you'll win more if you put yourself in a position where it suits your gun. So if you go out here, a lot of the time, straight away, someone will go up them top stairs and be looking over here. So they can get there, I think, just before we get here. So if they do that, you'll probably be dead already. And then, so what I do, I come up, I follow the bomb carrier just to make sure they cover it off. There's a lot of the time people will go through top office and they'll stick their head out the top. So first thing I always do is throw a grenade down there. Sometimes you get some, but even if you don't, you kind of push them back and you get a chance to set up then. So another place to check there is bottom left where Jim is. You can just see his feet there. So if you do come up here, you need to be careful. There's also, when you jump over here, there's a delay in you climbing. And then when you land, you get gun bob. So if anyone is, which most people are always aiming at some point in this area, you need to be careful when you're jumping off this ledge. So you can see there, you jumped in, 2 people, and because you've only got 1 life, it's really, really difficult to take them gunfights off. So that would be a death that hasn't really added any value because nobody can trade that out at the minute. No one's there to kind of pick off. So even if you got killed there in S&D, it's great. Well, it's not great if you got killed there, but I'm somewhere around or someone on our team is looking at that, we just trade out. Because what you don't want to give them in S&D is like a numbers advantage. So the first part of the game is try and get first blood, and then you're always 1 up, and all you have to do then is stick together and trade out all the way to the end. That's the perfect scenario. So I think as you died, does this completely start the next round? Looks like it. Okay. So it looks like you've still got SMG on. Okay. All right. So you can see there, like, I don't know what's going to happen after this, but you now know someone's just died there. So at least you're in a position of having a bit of knowledge on SMG. That there's a good chance that they're either on top balcony shooting over, or they're going to be, pushed across towards top office. But at least this gunfight is close range. If they come around, you're in range. If you'd gone left to the staircase here, then you're back in AR territory. Good. Okay, and then that's just one of us is down. There's a gap in the map, and they've rotated round. Okay, this is a good route. So when you go under here, just be ready for your gunfights. But when you play as an SMG, all you want to do is be a pain. So you're probably going to get killed because you're playing fast and awkward. Okay, so you're at bomb site. You're actually behind them all now. Nice. So as your SMG, you've kind of gone up. You got away from all the lines of sight, and now you're all in kind of close range. So you're playing for both information and to try and pick 1 or 2 off. Because even if you can get 1 person, that's numerical advantage to us. And then if you can kill someone and get some info, like there's a guy I can see in this room already. So if you don't kill him, we know 1 is B side, so we can kind of set up to cover that off. That's really unlucky, that. But even there, he's run off now and he's gone out sideways. You call that. There's a good chance that if you call that, I'm on top balcony playing slow, and I know where he's coming from, and I have a huge advantage then to pick him off or work with whoever's left on our team. So those deaths are valuable because you pick someone off and you've got information. The ones where you just throw yourself over the balcony and get killed is just probably frustrating for you, and then they don't really add anything for the team because it just means that we've now got a gap because it's 3 versus 4. It could have been different numbers, but basically we're one person down and we haven't been able to trade it out. It's mad actually that you die and it just goes straight to the next round. It's good. That's just. Oh, I thought you actually killed him. So that would be one of those where it's like you got an SMG, you're taking on a gunfight there where he's got really good heady. It's difficult anyway, but he has the advantage of both weapon and position in there. So you kind of put yourself in a disadvantage. So if you're playing SMG, I would go any route that doesn't leave you on one of these really big open areas that you can be shot at from distance. So even if you need to play a little bit slower there, where you wait at bottom stairs. I don't know. I've forgotten if we're planting or not, but it's great what you're doing in terms of we all don't have to go with the bomb carrier, but technically we cover off the bomb carrier because if it drops, then we've got to go and try and recollect the bomb and then try and plant it. And stuff. So depending on how fast the bomb carrier, that sort of dictates the pace. But what you find in SMG is people are set up like this guy. On top heady and just waiting for us to push it across because we have to plant the bomb. So we have to be slightly more aggressive than the defensive team. So if the defensive team, all they need to do is try and cover off as many angles of the map and lanes as possible, and then they don't have to do anything. So in a way, we're kind of running straight into them by giving them these gunfights, if that makes sense. So where would I go? You see, I don't play SMG, so it's hard to know exactly what routes, but I'd probably be definitely either running through bottom there, not bedroom, but I'd like bookcase, and then even maybe looking at that gap towards kitchen without going into kitchen, or I'd go left towards kitchen, but then I'd stay to the right. I wouldn't go to the left edge of the map, and I'd try and hold that position to see where they're coming from, because you can kind of still give info if you're looking over to swimming pool, but if anyone pushes then through kitchen, you're in that close range gunfight. So you see, you've kind of got the whole horizontal of the map covered off for either a gunfight or information, and there's no lines of sight for an AR to be able to beam you. Like technically, if they come from pool and they get set up there and they're looking into kitchen, then you're probably at a slight disadvantage. But at that point, you should get there first to be able to see it. And like I normally go up top, so if you like, there's one there swimming pool, I can trade him out for you if you're still watching kitchen. So my thoughts here is bomb carrier's gone up top. I'll always try and clear the top balcony, catwalk, whatever it is on here with a grenade, just to see if they're pushing out there. But I'll never go to the open area of there until it all settles down. Give it a few seconds, then I'll poke my head up to see if people are set up on stairs or down by piano. So turning around there is not a bad play because there's a good chance people are going to try and flank behind us. The other thing in S&D is like people are setting up, but if you hold and you're a little bit slow and you don't see anyone engage with you, there's a good chance to found a route around the back to flank. So if there's been no gunfights for a while, then it's at that point you start turning around and going, okay, they've tried to get in behind us because they're either not moving or they've absolutely give it legs and found a way to get behind us. So sometimes it's good just to sit there and let the game come to you rather than going to the game. Particularly if they have to plan, if they have to get the bomb down, it's on them to have to make the move. So you can kind of sit back and try and see what they're doing. It's a little bit harder when we have to plant bomb, but normally like Joe's the bomb carrier anyway, so he'll kind of be like, right, that's how I'm planting, and at that point we just need to cover off the angles to make sure no one can get to him. So at this point, it's really hard. Like, it looks like there's literally somebody running right on your shoulder. So I don't know if they've just dropped down. But in a way, we're okay here because we're all together. The only problem is everyone seems to be running in either different directions. Here it's the same direction, but I don't think it's with any clear plan. But in S&D, it's definitely better to at least stick with somebody, because what you don't want to do is give them a kill for free. So some warning shots at him. Good stuff. So I can see you've got the aims, which is great, because I find in S&D, particularly if you're taking these outer routes and stuff, you've got these long range gunfights. That was pretty good timing for recording this. So there's a guy, and this is what you'll find a lot in S&D. If they're playing slow and covering off lanes and they've got any comms, he's going to probably be happy just to sit right at the back, which wouldn't really happen in any other kind of game mode. And he's just waiting for us to make a mistake and push out. So just before that, like to your right there, everyone is just back to the right. So I don't think there's probably any need to try and push and take this on. I mean, that's just crazy gun skill. Having to overshoot him and then get your aim back on there is pretty impressive. So this, I would think, is if you had an SMG, this is the route you'd take, because you're not open to any long lines of sight. Whereas you've got the aims now, so I would have probably gone piano, checked that no one's going to push completely down the left. So I think nearly all of these maps are 3 lanes. So technically, you've got 1, 2, 3 across. That's 3 of us that can cover a lane, and then you've always got the fourth then to cover a second angle or something, or be the one pushing through. So unless we're really confident that it's like, right, we're going A, we cover like looking down A, one will probably look left, two will look straight on. But as a general rule, if no one's talking, you've got like 3 lanes, 1, 2, and 3. And when everyone kicks off, just got to make sure 1, 2, and 3 is some way covered. But there's no point in then going and getting yourself on lane 1 killed easily by sprinting in. So if you're going to do that, you get your AR, you kind of set off, just look without kind of running down the line of sight, hold for a few seconds. If no one's there, then you can go back and support, because chances are, if you run on at that point, someone is waiting for you to run in. That's a good angle. So what I would say here as well, like small bits of info, like in terms of you've got through there, you look straight across, which now you're back in AX, you can look straight down this corridor, you can pick people off top. You've got the guy next to you, which is great. But in terms of info, there is a guy, well, we've just got a kill, and he's behind you, which means at least someone's wrapped. The only thing, it looks like I guess I'm green and not blue. It looks like I'm at the back there, so there's a good chance we're talking here. It's just a shame there's no comms to say, okay, I've got that covered off. Otherwise, you probably just need to be a little bit careful that more than one person hasn't wrapped there. Okay, so 2 people there have just died at the back. So still difficult, because there is a good chance that people are still ahead. But I would guess now, if they've pushed that far around, they've got 2 kills. That means the back of the map is now free up. They're probably going to go for a B push. And you're right in the middle of the map. This will be one of those moments that I don't completely know what to do, but I would be thinking that I'd probably start turning around, making sure that I don't get shot in the back. good reads. That's the value of trading out. So when you run around with a friend, you got your kill, they still kill you, and it's a bit rubbish that you don't get to see the rest of the round play out there. Yeah, it is what it is. So it's mad there. So when you had AR, you kind of took the SMG routes. When you swapped to the SMG, you kind of took the AR routes. Could be something as small as that. And I would say just a little bit more patience like that. There was no plan to stop until you got through to the side of the map. There's a good chance on SMG people are going to be in those corners, like watching those lanes. So I'd say probably a little bit of slow down with the AR if you're going to cover those lanes off. If you go in SMG, try and keep to the lanes that don't have those open lines of sight. So we've got SMG, okay. Nice. May as well stay alive. So what is key there? This is when I said sometimes like your deaths are valuable. So you've gone in there, you've got the information, and you got out your life, which is great. But straight in there, you got, I think there was 3 people pushing A, and one of them went to pool. So that value is great in terms of throwing yourself in there. If you'd got killed and had that, you've still got like some proper valuable information. The only problem is if you'd got killed there would have been no one to trade any of those kills out, which would have been a bit rubbish. So that's the only thing to think about. Sometimes it happens at the start, depending on, like, if we'd have said, okay, everyone go B, and you were covering the lane of A, and then you get killed. The most you want is to get that information that there's 3 people around the A bomb, and then we can kind of reposition our lines of sight. But the fact that you got in there, you got out of that fight is gold. The other thing to bear in mind now is if they don't push through and they hold those lines of sight, which I think they would because they only have to plant at A, they're going to be waiting for you now. And I imagine they've got ARs looking down lines of sight. So that's incredible. So the other thing is like there where I would have been like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Like, I mean, there's 2 people there. I would have proper cacked me pants and been out of there. But the other value in you playing the way that you do is that you are a pain, and they have to deal with you because you're in their face. Like for me, I'll back off and hide and blah. Sure, he'll come back when he's feeling brave again. The fact that you've taken him on there, you've got 2 people shooting at you because you're being a nuisance, and as long as you've called it out, if we're rapping to get different angles on there, they're not even looking for us at that point. And like that's incredible value. So when you're kind of dying a lot in S&D and saying, like it's because of the way you play, that's okay. We kind of need some of that, but as long as there's value in it. So you had info there. You've absolutely been a nuisance in terms of the cat kill you, and they've still got to look up here to take care of you because they know that they know that you are there, so they've got to fire this way. So while you're doing that, they're not concentrating on where anyone else is. Ah, tasty. That spin is amazing. I still don't really know how he does it. So this is exactly when I said like I'd go through and maybe cover these angles off. This is what I'm talking about. Like we are planting, so maybe these kind of angles both sides. So if we were defending and we know that they're pushing through because they have to plant at a point, these angles are good to slow down, wait, see what happens. Like anyone runs out there, you've got a bit of cover, you can call stuff out. you're not going to kind of get beamed from long range. Um, and there's a good chance they're going to come flying out at some point. So just a bit of patience. There you go. There's some info. Nice, perfect. I even felt the panic on that one. But that was good. You got your info. You didn't get killed. You looked for your angles, and then off you went to try and flank round. So back on AR. So I'll move to your left. Nice. Good. He's waiting for you. May as well back off. So it was good, but then you kind of got to look around and see where the rest of us are because you got yourself isolated there. No one had gone down there, so there's a good chance there was people down the right hand side. The comms, is that it? I like a lot of that stuff. Like that last one, definitely something I would have done. But oh shit, I'm gonna go the other way. But when you can watch it like slowly and see where everyone is on the map, then it would be like, whoa, there's no one there. There's gonna be someone watching that lane. But small stuff. I think the biggest thing is just to have patience at the right time. I don't think there's anything wrong with like what you're actually doing. I think S&D is definitely different in terms of it's a lot slower for most of us. But as long as you can find value in your deaths and the way you play, and like you actually kind of need that in the team. If we was all playing slow and steady and just covering off lines of sights, nothing would happen. We'd just get pushed. So I think it's good. I would just find the routes that suit the weapon that you have more, and a little bit of patience when you know that they have to come to you to give yourself like the advantage. The other thing, if you can get those routes through to the other side, like you did when you was up in office, and be a pain, get a kill, get some information, just make it so that they're focused on you. Just being a nuisance, you might not even be playing for either of the bombs, but if they know that they have to take care of you because you've got through in the other side, that's crazy valuable. But it's also crazy like a suicide run because if you don't make it across, then you get picked really easy. What is happening there to the scoreline? Anyway, hope that helps. I just because you couldn't get on, I thought it would be worth giving a go.